Greetings my subscribers and welcome to this video, and to anybody else who is searching for some Game of Thrones info, you have come to the right channel. I'm going to explain it in a different way. I'm going to come from a positive take. There is Cersei's prophecy in this video. When it comes to Game of Thrones, I just ask that you have another go at it and then just take it as you're playing someone who is your opponent in poker or in chess. That's all I ask. So just enjoy the video and then just see if it works for you, okay? And I'll drop another video. I know I have been a little bit slack on some of the videos I've done up, but I'm just trying to find the right vibe out there. I didn't realize how confused people were with Game of Thrones, so I have taken a few videos back. I'm gonna rework them, okay, and I'm gonna bring that information back with a bit more explanation behind it, because that's what's needed, okay? But I think this video is going to help, okay? So just watch it, pay attention to it, and then just go from there. I have said that this show is all about show and tell. This means that you're playing an opponent in like a poker game or in a chess game. You need to watch and read so you can learn their tell. So they're not going to give you the tell, you're going to have to find it yourself. So when you go to the long night, everything is there for you to crack and solve if you're willing to treat it that way. Go and look at the crypt. Well, Varys trusted a friend and the friend betrayed him. He lost his life. Miss Sandy trusted the Dragon Queen and the Dragon Queen couldn't protect her, so she lost her life. Tyrion and Sansa are both the same characters, basically. They're just a different gender and they've got different obstacles to overcome in their life, but where Sansa was stuck with a family name and a family behind her, and then all of, the expectations of being a woman, Tyrion flaunted his Lannister privileges, and then he was free to go and look like a, do whatever he did. So now we know that there is something up, okay? There is something awesome about this show if you're willing to treat it like you're being challenged in a game. And this is what I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to say that there are things around in Game of Thrones that you need to do differently. You need to watch and read and then find the tell, like you're taking on a challenger. So I've also pointed out that we're dealing with a silent protagonist. So if we go to the bells, all the tells that are there are all the things that are absent, okay, from the previous encounters. So why does Daenerys all of a sudden not need to put the dragons into position and yell Dracarys when she burns down the city and burns down the fleet? They are missing, so obviously somebody else is controlling the dragon. It's something that you've always wanted, but you're so built up on all these expectations that you've brought in, you've got to let those go and just enjoy the show. Enjoying the show means you can find the tells, okay? When I was going through the long night, all I was looking for was a team up in order to get rid of the Night King. It wasn't a literal prophecy, but if you've watched the story from the beginning all the way to the end and you treat it as metaphoric, you can actually design a prophecy that actually fits, if you're willing to actually go and actually put the time in to make it work. But the thing is, that means you have to watch how the Song of Ice and Fire has actually worked throughout the course of the show. And the only people that are actually going to know that for sure, what it really means is this: you put the effort into it after you have realized that's what's happened. And the only way you're going to realize what has happened is if you drop the literal meaning behind everything. You got stuck on the MacGuffin, okay? That literal throne. And if you treat it like chess, it's just two queens going at it. Two queens can't rule a chessboard, so it's destroyed in the end, isn't it? It is something that I thought was going to happen, because Jon Snow has always said he's never wanted the throne or any position of authority in that regard either. So you've got to be watching your characters. They are the ones that you should be invested in. You should be invested in them as people, like how I am talking to you now. I want you to think that I'm talking to you as a person straight in front of me. I'm not trying to insult you or anything. I just want you to listen and then go back and have a look at this. If you look at the long night, you can see it starts as chess. You've got all your pieces moving into position. And then the Dothraki start off charging first. So the white side moves first. And you want to be on the right side of this conflict, don't you? You don't want to be the ones, on the other side, do you? But that is what happens when you put literal meaning behind everything and literal hope behind everything. It's a show about metaphors, okay? Metaphors and the ability to look beyond the obvious. So what I'm trying to say in this video is that any character who has died before they have reached the end have put literal meaning behind their actions, and they all end up dead. They either take literal meaning about something that is said to them, and then they put in literal action afterwards, and as soon as they do that, they're involved in the old game of chess. They're gonna die. You can't have a new game of chess with new pieces if there are old pieces stuck on an old board. So just follow the long night as a chess game. Treat all your heroic characters as just individual people and see what they learn through their journey through this tale. Just ignore Bran. All I found out is that he put himself under the weirwood tree first. So obviously he knows something that we don't. So you have to try and figure that out. And then if you go to the last 2 episodes of the season, the bells, that will show you all the absent actions that the characters have used all the way through up into that moment. Somebody else is calling the shots, so we have a silent protagonist. And then we have the last episode, the Iron Throne. That one shows all the reactions of the characters. So there are certain things that you pick up straight away. So at the very end, Jon Snow says, "It doesn't feel right." He's finally got a heart back. He's been stabbed in the heart this whole time, okay? He has lost his ability to feel. So there must be something behind that. So that's the reason for the prophecy, the prince that was promised. It's all about him getting a heart again. It's really, really interesting show if you're gonna put the effort into it. I'm just telling you now, nicely, and just as someone who has found something else in the show, don't go blaming the writing, okay? Just go and watch it, read it, and find what they're telling you, and then see if it works, okay? See if Cersei Lannister's prophecy plays out as though she has been treating it literally the whole time. Everything she has done, she has brought death to her kids. She didn't listen to Ned Stark. She put her first child on the throne. That child dies, and then what does she do? She blames the one brother that she thinks is gonna kill her. So then what happens? He gets into a trial by combat, and then Oberyn Martell dies, and then what happens? The death of her daughter is brought on because of her. If she didn't accuse her brother, she wouldn't have lost her, would she? And then the same thing happens with Tormund. She is getting rid of a literal thing. She blows up the Sept of Baelor, doesn't she? And then Tormund goes out the window. She brings this all upon herself. She's the one that brought death to her. She's the one that made Tyrion go and bring the Dragon Queen to her doorstep. So the prophecy there is answered. You know what to do now. Don't put literal meaning behind it. Okay? Metaphoric meaning behind everything. I've done what I can. Okay? I've explained it to the best I can. We made it to the end, guys, and I'm thankful that you've watched it, and I hope it's very helpful. Now, if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll put them in my next video. I'll put Q&A at the end of all my videos that I bring out from now on. and I am going to re-release some of my videos again once I have put more effort into them to get the explanation right behind them, because there is a lot of people out there that are just holding on to those literal meanings, okay? This was never a show about literal things. The literal part costs people their lives, so if you do that in the real world, it's going to cost you your enjoyment with the show, okay? So don't think of anything as literal, okay? Just enjoy the show and then find the things that you're looking for. You'll find this really epic tale if you give it a go. So I'm going to work on everything. I'll work on the prophecies if people want me to, but I think people can just find them on their own, and if you find another channel that's got more time behind it, you'll probably get those answers quicker. So I hope this video has helped. I really want people to just re-engage with the show. That's all I want. So just give it another go. Try the way I've said to go about it. Don't think of anything as literal. Don't treat it as a Lord of the Rings. Just treat it as Game of Thrones. Just treat it as ordinary people, like ordinary people you would meet in everyday life. That's all Game of Thrones is. No one is special, okay? They all make mistakes, but the people that make the wrong mistakes for the wrong reason are the ones that end up dead. So you want to be on the right side of this story, don't you? You want to be the one that believes there's a promising future. So do that, and you'll probably find that you'll get more enjoyment out of this show. Just let go of all those built-up expectations you had. In creative writing, you don't bring them into the story. You just go in there with an open mind and you enjoy the show. And then you make what you want out of it. And I'll see you in my next video.